Welcome! Today I'm bringing you a modern list. It's an Esper modern list based on come and play effects and things along that nature. I'm debating on whether or not I want to put in any momentary blinks or the 1 mana variant that's coming out in Avacyn Restored. But as it is right now, I've kind of broken things up into different packages. We have the removal package for just creatures, which is the 4-path to Exiles. Next one up is something which I'm deciding to test out as a one-of. It seems pretty good with like a persisted like Murderous Redcap or Kitchen Finks. It's good in response to like a Muldrifter evoke. Basically turns it into Tidings for 1 less mana, and you get a 3/3 flyer out of it. Twilight Shepherd also has Persist. Puppeteer Click also seems really nice with it. So I'm deciding to give that a shot. Oblivion Ring comes up next. It's kind of this catch-all removal idea, and it does pretty good at it, so seems like it's kind of a shoo-in. Next up is the Reanimation package. I have 2 Unburial Rites and 3 Makeshift Mannequins. Makeshift Mannequin is something which I have loved since it came out. It allows for surprises and massive amounts of card advantage. If you mannequin up, like let's say a Shriek Maw, so you end up, it hits the battlefield, kills something, surprises a blocker. You can do the same things with like let's say Twilight Shepherd or Kitchen Finks. You can mannequin up a Puppeteer Click, and then it'll grab a creature out of their graveyard, and then possibly die, persist, grab another. All types of kind of wacky things can happen with that. I decided instead of having the 4th Makeshift Mannequin to include 2 Unburial Rites. Unburial Rites also seems like a very nice card advantage kind of thing with a lot of the creatures that are in the deck. The next package over here is the more utility creatures. Those. We have 2 Phantasmal Image. Very nice with a lot of the persist stuff, like the Kitchen Finks and Murderous Redcaps. It can be used as a 2 mana thing, like an extra Puppeteer Click or more Muldrifters. It can also kill legends, which is something which is very nice. Geist of Saint Traft comes to mind. I've seen him a few times in Modern. I've also seen him a few times in Legacy, but that's not really what we're talking about here. Next up is Kitchen Finks. Kitchen Finks is a very nice creature that does a lot of things for you. It's very good aggressively, it's very good control, it kind of does everything you need it to do. And also pairs very well with Makeshift Mannequin. Even if they get targeted, then they will be coming back. And then will be able to be targeted. So you can Undying Evil it. Anyway, so the last utility creature is a Twilight Shepherd. Twilight Shepherd is something which I used during that time frame, as I think I had a 2 of at that point, but I decided to only go with 1 here. It's something that can be very, very well utilized. I possibly need to add a couple more things to kind of combo with it, which pretty much the only things that really combo with it are instant speed removal is not Path to Exile. Path to Exile is a very powerful removal spell, which is the reason why it's in here, but putting in things like Doomblade or Go for the Throat or Dismember even would allow for Twilight Shepherd to become more of this kind of combo card, because you can use it when like a board wipe happens or something like that, and then or lots of trades in combat. So she can end up picking up all those guys. She's also very nice with Makeshift Mannequin right after like your opponent wraths or something, and all of a sudden you're like end of turn Makeshift Mannequin, pull her back into play, pick up all the Finks and the Shriek Maws, Redcaps and so forth that they thought that they just got rid of. Okay, the next one is the card draw package. Move her over. We have 4 Esper Charms, which is something that is very versatile. The ability to draw 2 or discard 2, both at instant speed, is huge. Next up is Mole Drifter. Mole Drifter is something which is an all-star. It's been used many times over, many different archetypes. Just evoking it and then mannequinning it or Unburial Ritesing it is always pretty nice. Even the 2/2 flyer can be pretty powerful. I also decided to add 1 Tidings. This is something also that I was using during that standard era that I wanted to try again. It's so much advantage late game that it's hard to come back. It is very hard to come back from when a deck like this resolves the Tidings, because everything in the deck, except for Path to Exile and Oblivion Ring, actually generate card advantage. I'm kind of including Phantasmal Image because imaging any of my creatures definitely generates more advantage. So resolving a Tidings is gigantic. The last package is another removal package, but it's the creatures themselves that are the removal, which would be 4 Street Moths and 3 Murderous Redcaps. I've thought about even putting in like a Necrotol or something along that like Necrotol just because it costs 1 less than what Street Moth does, and because it has First Strike, which is something that can be very utilized. Murderous Redcap is very nice. It's being seen a lot in the Melira combo, the Birthing Pod, Persist combination that uses Melira, so they can't get -1/-1 counters. Another card in that deck, which actually if I had in here, which would be very nice, is Makeshift. Makeshift would be huge. Probably would be. I originally had a Sun Titan in here, but decided to remove that. Makeshift will probably take that spot, because evoking Shriek Moths for 2 mana to get a 4/3 fear that kills 2 guys is pretty big. Redcaps, allowing them to continuously come back bigger is pretty nice. Kitchen Finks, that kind of stuff. So nothing really all that spectacular in the lands until you end up hitting Vault of the Archangel. I'm deciding to try out one of these because it allows for very swingy games. Once it drops, it can turn Redcaps and stuff like that into major game players, because at that point they can also gain life. I have thought about also adding in Moorland Haunt as a way to recycle my creatures once they've kind of been fully used and I'm not drawing my mannequins or my Unburial Rites and the time is needed. I decided to add one Terramorphic Expanse just because it can go get any of my colors, and sometimes you just need basic lands. The 4 Tectonic Edges are to fight the Urza Menace. Urza's lands are pretty big. I need to get some Fulminator Mages, and then at that point I can utilize those in this deck. Mannequins and Undying Evils and such being gigantic with that, especially against them. Onto the sideboard. The anti-control, anti-combo cards, of course, would be Castigate and Inquisition of Kozilek. Castigate is something I decided to add because it also allows me to try to take out Emrakul against the Urzatron decks, and Castigate also allows me to hit Past in Flames against the Storm decks by just exiling them so that they can't either one flash it back or go get it again because it shuffles back in with go get it again with Eye of Ugin. Nile Spellbound is to fight the also the Past in Flames decks. It also fights Melira. It also fights it fights lots of stuff. Always having a Spellbomb is a good idea. It also kind of combos pretty well with Twilight Shepherd, as like when Twilight Shepherd's persisting, or even just coming in play if I happen to have an extra black, I can pop the Spellbomb for a card draw. She comes in, she'll pick it back up, and the next turn I can cast it again. Basically makes for a free card draw. Spreading Seas is to fight both affinity, because you can lock out some of their color, like so they can't fling guys at you with shrapnel blast or fling. Although I haven't really seen fling in deck designs, which actually kind of surprises me. But anyway, next one up is Stony Silence. Stony Silence is really good against affinity because it doesn't allow them to activate Seal Overseers. It shuts off their artifact land, it shuts off Moxes, it shuts off cranial platings, which is huge. Basically, it makes it so they have to play fair. Sure, they can drop a whole bunch of guys on the board, but all their guys are really small, and it's not like they can equip anything. It's also surprisingly good against Urza because they use a lot of signets, and if you face the green-red version, it uses a ton of things like well, it also uses signets, I think. It also uses chromatic stars and chromatic spheres and prophetic prism to generate their colored mana. So Stony Silence shuts all those off, and so there you have it. This is the deck I'm going to be running through between 3 and 4 matches. So let's get to match number 1.